What's going on?
Hey, Devin.
How's
Hey,
it going?
bud. Good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Great, great, man. How long have you been in Rank and Rant so far?
It's maybe been like a month and a half, maybe, I want to say.
All right. So you hit the ground running. You just joined and started all in and hooking right away.
I've got a background in, like web development, stuff like that. So I already had templates ready to go. So I could just kind of like push them online. I'm very good with SEO. So
Hmm.
really the only thing I needed to do was kind of get the script down and figure out how to get the Google ads running. Because at first I got suspended probably like, I don't know, 3 times. And I would call them. They sent us a really call, but I would call them and you get connected to this person, get connected to that person, and they ended up getting me unsuspended like within a couple of days. Uh, and so I would probably say I was running ads for maybe like a week and a half before I ended up getting that deal. Because when I finally got unsuspended, I was like, all right, I'm getting leads in. I want to, get this going. So I called just a bunch of people, but he was actually the deal that I got was the sixth person I called. He didn't answer, but I left a voicemail. And then he left me a voicemail through CallRail, and he was like, "Hey, I thought you were spam, but I just read this, just heard the voice message, and it was you. So just give me a call back." Ended up getting in contact, and I could tell just from talking to him though, he was not a very good partner. Like he was a nice guy, but he was an older guy. He always took Fridays off. He had a smaller company,
Hmm.
so definitely not the best signs for someone you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, he was going through the process though. I was like, it's the first deal, whatever.
Yep.
And yeah, no, I got him signed up. I think last Monday, and I there's a I want to make an SOP for when I onboard someone. I need to do these things because I want to walk them through how to use CallRail a little bit more.
Hmm.
I walked him through how to do it, but he's an older guy, and a lot of the clients that we're going to sign on aren't going to be the most tech savvy. So I need to be more. I need to hold hands a bit more and be kind of a bit more annoying, I guess, when it comes to
Yes.
onboarding them. But he ended up getting, I think, 3 form submissions that he didn't call. He got his voicemail was full, and I have the recording on call rails. So I listened to it. And it's like the person who you're calling, their voice message.
Sorry, Devin. My internet just dropped for some reason.
I'm in the woods. I have like horrible signal in here, so
Oh, so you
probably why.
onboarded the guy. He left some things, some of the leads fell through the cracks. So you think that was kind of like a determining factor why he bailed?
Essentially, yeah. I think that it was mainly just he didn't contact the leads. He wasn't very hungry. Like I said, he likes to take Fridays off, so he's not really the most driven person. But that'd be the main reason why. Yeah, it's the
Did
leads
he
just
run
fell through the
ads?
cracks. He just didn't answer. Did he run ads? He did not. I started on the bottom of my list. I didn't want to touch the leads with ads until I got the script down. Um, but yeah, he was like, I was working my way up the list, and he was one of the first people I called. So
That's great. The fact that you sold someone who doesn't even run ads and you did that within a month and some change of joining, that is a great green flag. That is a green flag. So you're definitely putting your ducks in the right order.
yep,
And I mean, the proof is in the pudding. The fact that you close someone who doesn't even believe in paying for leads is a great start. So I can only imagine once you get to the ones that pay for Angie and Thumbtack and Google Ads, the amount of traction that you will generate. That's awesome, man. I don't think I've closed a lead gen um, deal for like months after I joined. I remember it was probably 8 or 9 months, or even
right.
more. I think I closed
It's
more.
harder.
Yeah, I closed more ancillary services to lead gen than actual lead gen for the longest
Oh
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So
It's
yeah,
harder if you don't
that's
have a
awesome, man.
background in these types of things. It's harder coming from any other type of industry if you don't know anything about like DNS settings and websites, and it can it's there's a whole different barrier you kind of go through. So if you didn't come from a background like that, that's probably most of the reason why I would say.
Sure, absolutely. The technical stuff is definitely it can be a hard step to go through, but I mean we have everything in the training, thank God, right? Um,
Right. Yeah.
but at the same time, I agree with you because I figured out a way to outsource that stuff as soon as I could. Yes, I did deal with building ugly sites myself and hooking them up and going through the trial and error. And you hook it up and you go back and it's not propagating, it's not live, and you go back. So it's kind of a headache. And I kind
Mhm.
of went through that and managed to do it successfully. But as soon as I had the opportunity to outsource it, I did that. Like I got a web developer person and they just deal with all that stuff. Thank
Right.
God. But I like that
Oh
you
yeah.
were able to um, determine some of the red flags that this guy had. That's I say all the time, my gut is always right. Like when your gut tells you something about a business owner, like, I don't know about him. He sounded a little weird on the phone. You should take that into
Right.
consideration, even though it's just a
There was that
hunch.
too.
Yeah.
I did a couple live transfers with him, and the guy. So I have to do sales for my own company. I don't really consider myself a salesman at all, but when I got him on the phone with the live transfer, the girl's trying to get off the phone like 3 times. He's like, "Well, anyway, yeah, I would take this machine and I'd run it in the backyard and I'd do this. I gotta make sure I don't hit these things. So you should be good with it." He's like just explaining the pro. She's like, "Just give me a quote. Just give me okay, yeah, okay, yeah." She's trying to get off the phone, and he's just like this guy's not gonna close very many deals, 'cause I don't know. He's just over explaining, and
Yeah.
I should have went with my gut and just moved on. But I was like, he seems really on, so I'm gonna go for
You
it,
know, it's great practice.
But I
It's
should have
great
listened,
practice. Yeah, sometimes I feel the exact same way. And you're right. The guy on the phone should not just be tripwiring himself every question he gets from the customer. Well, let me explain to
Yeah.
you the whole process and spend 5 minutes on the phone. No, that's not what you're doing. You're selling, you're gathering information, offering a solution, and getting paid. So yeah, definitely a red flag there. And I would even mention it to them, like, "Hey, I noticed that on the phone you do that." So that way it puts you on a pedestal, or
I should have done that. Yeah.
or it breaks off this whole thing. If he gets offended, fine, get
Yep.
offended. Bye. You're not a salesperson. I'm
Right.
not
Right.
claiming to be one. But if I'm explaining to you, hey man, you're leaving a lot on the table by being chatty on the phone, and they take it the
Yep.
wrong way, then yeah, bye.
She
Um,
even
mhm,
she even said she just wanted to get estimates and things like that, and he's just like talking and talking and talking. But
mhm.
yeah, I'll let you get through your
No,
questions. I'll let you
you
know.
hit the nail on the head there. Like you absolutely have to take that into consideration when you're listening to the calls, and you have to literally take it into consideration, not just like, he just sounded a little off, but he'll probably do well. Now you got to address it, or at
Yeah.
least have it in the back of your head, like this guy is not the best. Let me go and maybe hook another guy as a backup, that kind of thing. But
How would you
oh,
recommend doing it?
mhm,
How would you recommend doing it when? So I'm thinking I'm live transferring them as they come in, and that seems to work really well.
mhm.
I'll talk about a different company that I have on the hook right now, but I'm live transferring them, but I can't keep calling the customer. It's like, hey, here's my boss. Hey, here's my boss. So is it best to give a few leads out? I've seen this through the group where some people do this, but is it best to give a few leads out and then just follow up with them to see if they got in touch with the leads, or because that way you can give the same lead to several business owners if you're not bringing in a bunch of leads at first. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yes. I don't have a perfect answer for this, but what I do is every lead that I send, I follow up on before sending the next lead. So let's say I got a lead today and I sent it to you. Then
Mhm.
tomorrow I'm gonna call. If I have another lead, I will call you first and say, "Hey, I just wanted to make sure that you're available. I got another job here. Give me a call when you can." And then when you call me, I'm like, "Hey, before I send you this one, how was yesterday's? Did they get a quote? What's this? What's that?" And you wanna almost let them know that you're putting the pressure, like that you're on them, like you're not messing around, because the way you treat your leads is the way they're going to treat your leads.
Right.
So
Right.
if you get up in the
So you're
morning and
saying,
call them at 8:30, "Hey, how was the lead from yesterday? Did you talk to them? Did they get a quote? When are they going to get a quote? Is it going to be within
right.
24 hours? and they know like, oh, this guy's means business.
Right. So is that mainly when you just send the leads without doing the live transfers then?
No, even if I do the live transfer the day before, I'll call the guy the next day. Especially if I got a new lead for him or her, I will call them ahead of time. Let's say I got a
Mhm.
voicemail or form submission or whatever. I have it in front of me. I call him. Hey, Devin, it's Mahmood. We talked yesterday and I sent you a lead. I have another one today and I just wanted to make sure that you're available before I patch him over. And by the way, how was yesterday's lead? Did you end up meeting with them? Oh, you got busy. You never got back to them? Okay. Are you intending on getting back to them this morning at the earliest? Because you know how people are, right? Like Devin, people are going to move on. People are going to go call other companies. So I just wanted to make sure that you get that you get that job and people are not moving on.
Right.
And yeah, that's how I keep that pressure. So it's not abrasive, but it also like, hey, I value these leads. And if they're like, I don't know, I've got really, really busy. I'm gonna be slammed today
Move
too.
on.
Hey man, Devin, no harm, no foul. The only reason I started sending you these leads is because you expressed interest yesterday on our phone and you got really excited. But if your pipeline's full, if your belly's full, no harm, no foul. I need to help someone who actually needs these. If you don't need them, that's a great problem. I wish you the best. And then they'll either be like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not gonna work out. I appreciate it anyways. Or hold on a second. And then they start grabbing onto you. And that's when you're like, hey, even if you're not sure, and I'll send you another lead. I don't have an issue. But as you know, Devin, I'm paying for these and I'm looking for a serious partner. I'm not saying that you're
Right.
not, but if this is not for you, I totally get it. I know it's not for everybody. I love this expression. It's not for everybody. That's when they want to be part of that everybody. When you say it's not for everybody, they're like, yo, I'm your guy. I'm your guy.
Right.
So
No, yeah,
yeah.
I definitely need to figure out better times to do the pullbacks. I did a couple with that particular guy. Um, but I got to get better at having creative pullbacks and being able to interject them, when I need to inject
Hmm.
them. But I don't know. It was definitely a shock with how quickly it ended up happening.
Yeah.
And I ended up calling back, not really calling back, but I ended up calling other companies yesterday since pretty much canceled yesterday
Hmm.
that I called maybe like, I don't know, 6 companies, 7 companies, and one of them ended up being like a paving company. They do like mostly pavers, but they do concrete. I
What's this
got
niche,
a
by the
big
way?
job at concrete.
Concrete. Okay. So you found a company that does pavers to come and do your concrete.
So there's a like a 36 by 26 like garage slab that had, with footers and everything has to be poured.
Hmm.
So I gave that company, it's a big company, got directed to one person, got directed to another person. And I gave him that lead, live transferred it, and he said they mainly specialize in pavers. So there's a big, you know, uh, search volume for pavers in that area. So I'm thinking about just making a website there because he said if you bring in paver jobs, we would partner with you. And he said that he'd give me like his business license and all these different things. So that's a pretty decent, green flags. And I listened to him on the live transfer. He was awesome. Very, very well spoken, straight, to the point. I even told him that after the customer hung up.
Hmm.
I complimented him, said, you're doing a lot better than most people that I allow transfer with. Like you're very straight to the point. You don't BS.
Hmm.
And
And you
he,
low
yeah,
key positioned yourself
really good
too.
guy.
That you're telling him that you talk to a lot of other contractors.
Yeah. And he even like said, hey, after a call, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and he like actually sent the photos. He said he was gonna send the information. He's just like, I don't know. It seems like a one that's definitely I'm gonna. He wants to set up a meeting before he goes on vacation next Thursday, so we'll hopefully that lands in something because it's a bigger company, so
Hmm.
the average job price is gonna be bigger, which means I can charge more
Is this guy the
for the
owner or
job.
the
So
like a managing partner or
that's what I want to figure out. I don't think he's an owner. It says on Google that they're like woman owned, so he's a man, so obviously
okay.
he might be part owner maybe, but I have to figure out who's going to be the owner and get them on the
Yep.
phone. Who's going to make those decisions and get them on the phone?
Yes.
So
Because I've been in situations just recently where the guy's like, yeah, I'm managing partner. And I'm like, are you able to make a decision? or do we need,
Yep.
this is a good one, or do we need to loop the boss in? If they say, yeah, he might need to take a look, I'll be like, put us in a three-way text. Because if I'm life transferring these jobs, no offense to you, but I've been in situations where the boss is out of the loop. He comes in or she comes in and says, "Hey, I've never asked for a trial or whatever," and the sales rep has just been milking it. I'm not saying that you're milking it, Mr. Business Owner or Mr. Project Manager, but I need the boss's blessing, and I need us on a three-way call. That way, we're managing expectations.
I'll have
And
to
if
do
they
something
say,
like that
yeah, I
if
can
we
make a
get further
decision on
on,
their behalf, then yeah, great. You can make a decision on their behalf. Great. Let's get on that Zoom call. And
Yeah.
then if in that Zoom call they mention I gotta run it by the boss or whatever, be like, see what we were talking about? See what we were talking about? This is what I was talking about. You
Right.
need to loop the boss in. And I've been in situations where I grilled the person. Like, you could have told me, I could have sent you other jobs if you just told me, hey man, I'm just looking to close some deals to look good in front of the boss. Um, so yeah, whenever they say I'm a managing partner or I can make a decision or whatever, great. I still need that blessing. I still need to
Right.
either talk to the boss or you talk to the boss and put us in a three-way text.
Right.
Yeah, but I like your positioning too. The way you position yourself and you tell people that you tell these people that you're talking to other people. They need to know that. That is excellent. Um, so concrete is definitely a home run for you because you within a little over a month you already closed the freaking deal in concrete. That's big. I know it's probably not, it doesn't feel as cool to you because it came and went, but that is a
Right.
big deal.
Pretty much.
That is a
Yeah.
big deal
Yeah. No,
because, yeah, go ahead.
I do agree. It sucks, obviously, but it is when I got the deal, even after we closed it, was still like it's a very promising business model, even
Absolutely.
though it sucks, but I understand, it's gonna happen. It's a numbers game. I
Hmm.
should have went with my gut instinct. He wasn't the best partner to partner with, but I was like, he's gonna sign. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
But I do agree. It's a big deal. It's a good sign. That's because obviously when you start a program like this, you're not really sure, right? But I mean, it happened. I have no sales training. I've had to take on kind of more of a sales role. It's just that's how I get work, right?
Hmm.
But um, had no sales training, and I did it in less than a month. So it is like I said, I only really had leads coming in for like a month, a week and a half. I had ads unsuspended for like a week and a half. So a week and a half, got a deal. That's that's all I need. I just gotta get my systems in place, get my SOPs down, and then go. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, you got the SOP down, you got proof of concept, the actual sale. Um, yeah, you just gotta start rinse and repeat. And with rinse and repeat, my next question is same city or same niche? What is your next move? Now, I know you're gonna close this one because once you start talking to the AngelList guy and Google Ads guy, this deal is gonna close. Now, my next question is, are you sticking with concrete or are you gonna stick with the same city and maybe get a little adventurous with the other niches?
so I heard Nick say in a video that one year he focused on tree care, one year he focused on this, one year and I know how to write content that does decently for a concrete site now. I don't want to sit here and waste a bunch of time researching into how to write about tree service, how to write about this, how to write about that. So I'm just going to focus on concrete because I already have it down. I have the templates down. I already know I've been asked a bunch of questions by the people I've talked to. So it's easy for me to just kind of essentially rinse and repeat that model with concrete. So I'll just stick with concrete probably for right
Yep.
now. When I get a few
Yeah,
deals
I
under
think
my
that's a
belt
trend.
and I feel adventurous, then I'll end up probably branching out into like tree service and
Yep.
other niches. But
Yeah. No, concrete seems to be great. I haven't closed a deal yet in concrete, but a lot of the people in the group are doing pretty well with concrete. I don't want to say saturated. I think it's still going, even though, there've been, hundreds of students jumping into this space. Yeah, it's still definitely paying the bills. Um, yeah, and that's what I did too with epoxy. My favorite is epoxy, and I've been doing that for years now. Um, yeah, I just find the next city to do epoxy and then I jump in. I know my scripts, I know my lingo. If I start talking to a business owner, like within the first 2 minutes, they know that I know what, polyaspartic and polyurea and this kind of stuff. I know the process.
Yeah.
So it immediately puts me on a pedestal as opposed to them being
Yeah.
the expert and telling me how it works. So when I
Right. You've already done the
reference,
research, you know?
yeah, and I also reference the previous guy. I reference my um, guy from Charlotte or my guy from Spokane. I'll be like, hey, my this guy, like for example, if they ask, so what do these people pay you? And I'll say, well, I don't know. We'll have to run the numbers. We'll have to sit down and run your numbers that pertain to your market, to your business. But the Charlotte guy pays me this much, and the Spokane guy pays me this much. And I'll just say it like, and they're like, oh, okay. Is that the same thing I'm going to be paying? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not going to pull something out of my wazoo. We'll have to sit down and run your numbers. And that's why
Mhm.
you kind of make it personalized. Like, oh, he's going to make something like custom for us. It's my price. It's not a one size fits all.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely asked a lot about price, but I just used the objections, like objection sheet, kind of customized it a little bit, and it worked. You could tell he wanted to keep asking about it, but I moved on, so you just didn't really have
Yeah.
time to. But
Well, what do you say
yeah, I don't know.
usually? Okay. So what is this going to cost me, Devin?
Well, hold on. So I had the objection sheet in front of me. Let me think about this for a second. Well, I mean, it really just depends. I'm not really too worried about price. You could pay me in like food stamps if you wanted to. I don't really care. The price doesn't really matter. It's more so about finding the right partner. And considering we're still pretty early on with this, I don't really want to get bogged down on thinking too much about the price. It's something that we'll have to kind of figure out later on our call. I can kind of run over some numbers and kind of ask you a few questions, learn a bit more about you, your company, how you work, and then kind of go from there. But right now, I'm not really too concerned about price. If that answers your question.
hmm That's excellent. Yeah. I say the
I'd probably
exact same thing. Yeah.
I'd
Like
probably try to
the
end it a little bit differently, so I don't put the ball back in their court to kind of keep going down that lane. But just free of thought, that's kind of what popped out. But I probably wouldn't
Sure.
want to end it that way because you know what I mean. It kind of makes them want to push a little bit more, probably. But
Yeah, no, that was good. Like I'm not worried about it. These leads that I'm sending you right now that I'm paying for are free. I believe in it costs money to make money or, business takes money, whatever you want to say. Um, and then you say I'm not worried about these. This is just to make sure that we're a good fit for each other, that I like what you
yeah,
do and you like my jobs. And then if we like each other, great. We'll sit down and talk turkey and run some numbers and figure out this partnership. And if it's not, no harm, no foul. Actually, the
yeah,
sooner I know, the better, so I can move on and talk to the next guy. And
I
again,
like that. I like that.
I'm positioning again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
good. That's a good way to
yeah,
end
that's
that.
good. No, that was spot on. Awesome,
I'll
man.
I'll probably do a paving website just because there's a lot of paving demand in that area.
hmm
Which it's concrete adjacent. It's not really obviously the same niche, but for that, I'll probably make an exception. I might be
Yeah.
wasting time to pitch them because they said if I get paving leads in, they'd no hesitation they would partner with me. Again, I don't know if he's the person that can make that decision.
hmm
He might just be trying to look good in front of his boss, but I will for because there's a lot of search demand there and there's a lot of companies. So for that
Mm.
particular instance, I will make a paving website. But other than that, just concrete. So
Yeah. And papers are
just
not bad
popped
at
up in my
all.
mind. So
Especially if you do like I mean, the actual paver. I think he needs to be a general contractor. This guy, he needs to have a license, I think, to do pavers. Uh, I'm not positive. But there's
they have a license,
also,
yeah.
yeah, there's also paver sealing, which is a very expensive service. If you live in an area where there's a lot of pools, a lot of palm trees, like California and Florida, they destroy pavers. That's number one. So you got paver replacement, paver repair, and then there's also the elements, the rain and sun. It destroys the layer that the seal that they put on the paper, so they have to be um, sealed all over, and it's like $2,500 up to like $3,500. So it's a pretty legit service. Yeah,
I'll have to
there's
look into that.
definitely some money. I'm not making any money in the paver world, but I explored. I actually do have a couple of lead gens in it. No, one lead gen, paver ceiling. And yeah, and when I researched it, it looks really, really promising.
Yep,
And this guy
absolutely, yeah.
does this guy do both paver replacement and repair and then paver sealing as well? Or
I would assume that they do. I'm not sure if they. I'm for certain. I'm not sure though, but I would
uh
assume that they would.
yeah. Yeah, it's
They also do.
there's a lot
It's a
there.
weird business. It's a weird business because they do concrete, they do pavers, and they also do spray foam. So it's kind of like a. It's probably multiple businesses under one
Oh, that's good.
license. So I could potentially sell to all of them, I guess. But
Yeah, spray foam
we'll see how it
installation.
goes. But
There is a spray foam in this group. I don't do it
oh yeah,
personally, but there is spray foam installation. Yeah, that could be the next layer. So you can
yeah.
go,
Get them in concrete, pavers, and that.
that's right. You can go vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Anything you want to add? Anything you want to say to new students now that you've done the entire process successfully within a month? What can you tell these
I would
people?
say I would say memorize the scripts just constantly when you have time. Just repeat the scripts, talk like out loud, say the scripts, act like you're talking to a business owner, act like you're trying to overcome different objections. You should be able to say the whole script smoothly without any issue. And if you have issues where you're like, oh, I have to look at the script real quick, like I did when I just did that, uh, it's not a good sign. You have to keep. I'm practicing the script all the time, so it's important to always be practicing it. So that way, when you are talking to someone, you're not like, yeah, I work with businesses like you, like you're saying, not reading from a script.
Mm,
Obviously, you want to make it to where it's as customized as personalized to you as possible, so it feels natural. That's pretty much what I would. Also, make sure that you can visualize how the flow is going to go in your head from beginning to end of dealing with the client. So like I'm doing cold calls. I've talked to him. How do I do the live transfer? How do I like I practiced with my wife when it came to making sure I could merge calls because I didn't want to be thinking ahead. I didn't want to be like, I'll just merge that person in. I've never merged a call before, so I had to like, you know what I mean? Just think about every aspect of it and make sure that you know how it would work. You can obviously patchwork it together if you don't, but it makes it so you're a lot more calm, you're a lot more collected. You know what you look like you look you look like you know what you're doing, essentially is
yes,
what I'm saying. So just think about
absolutely.
it from start to end and that's the best thing I would say.
Yeah, well, you strike me as a really diligent guy. Like you like your processes in place. You don't like to, just throw darts in the dark. So that is great, especially with this business model. The more you're organized, the more boxes you check in order, in the right order, the
Mhm.
more successful you'll be in this model. Um,
Absolutely.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, Devin,
Plus,
I
if you have
appreciate you, man.
SOPs down,
Go ahead.
plus if you have SOPs down when you hire someone, you already have the system. I'm in the process of doing SOPs. I'm still too new to have them all done, but when you have your SOPs down, when you bring someone on, all you have to do is show them the SOPs, we'll walk them through it. They'll have like a step by step already taken. You know what I mean? It's just kind of it makes the whole thing easier going forward, type of a thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I definitely appreciate the time and the call and everything.
Yeah,
So
man, it's
yeah,
great. I'm definitely impressed by what you've achieved so far. It's just a matter of doubling down, tripling down, see how much you can push that envelope.
yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and you got everything on the spot. You got your processes on the spot. I mean, and the fact that you're not creative, you just stick to the process. That is sometimes so beneficial because I am the creative type where I'm like, oh, I want to, freestyle this one, or want to, I'll just call him on the phone. Like he wants the phone call, I'll call him on the phone. I don't need to Zoom. Like, no, stick to the
Yep.
process. That's what I
Right.
appreciate about you. So yeah, man, keep doing that. Don't get creative. Be stay matter of fact. Stay on your scripts and processes and SOPs. And yeah, you're
Yep.
gonna crush it, man. I'm looking forward to that post, to that next post where you close that deal. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah,
absolutely.
man,
Me
you'll
too.
you'll be at 10K before you know it.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Yep.
I appreciate you, Devin. Thank you for your time today,
Yep.
brother. All
Yep.
right,
Thanks,
you
man.
guys, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments, and me and Devin will try our best to answer them. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you later. Peace.
Yep. Bye, guys.